So I have been a Jane Austen fan from very early on. I think it was around in high school when I first read her book, Emma, and I was immediately hooked. I knew that it was going to be a significant author-reader relationship, and I was right. Although I would argue that Emma is Jane Austen's best work till date, I still love the protagonist as she was very unconventional as compared to most of Jane Austen heroines. She was rich, snobby, a little bit spoiled, beautiful, and she knew it. I mean, what's not to like, right? So one book led to another and I started getting mesmerized by Jane Austen's world, and here I am. And since there are so many movie adaptations of her work over time, like Pride and Prejudice, we all know it's such a good movie. Like Sense and Sensibility, Persuasion, all of these books have been adapted into movies, and by just looking at all these modern adaptations, I think it's safe to say that Jane Austen was one of the most celebrated female authors. Personally, I really loved how Jane Austen had the right wit and charm as a writer, and it was very apparent in her characters. I loved her characters. It was like all of these characters are so complex and interesting, and you know, there's just so much of elements in each character in all of her books. Jane Austen had that ability that she can actually make you hate some characters, like the negative characters that are shown in a way that you actually despise them. Being a fan of her work and her books and just like learning how she was a literary genius, I think it has actually inspired me to try to, you know, adapt into her lifestyle and see what that does for me, because I've been getting into all these routines for such a long time. So I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna try Jane Austen now. I was very excited to do Jane Austen because, I mean, she lived in the 19th century. The Regency era represents a very lavish and literary, artistic era of the Britain era. Represents a very lavish era, basically. I was very excited to adapt into her, like literally get into her shoes and see what that does for me. So here I am today. I did a little bit of research on her routine, and there are so many writings and information on the website on her regular day-to-day life. So I found like two of these websites that are very significant. Like the first one being very detail-oriented. So there's this website called Jane Austen's World, and this has a detailed version of Jane Austen's daily routine. Like it explains everything about it, like what she did in the morning. This website even has like broken down her mornings into two parts, like pre-breakfast, breakfast. I don't know how this person, like how this writer got all this information, but then I think she's some sort of historian or something. I don't know, but it seems like legit, and I don't think she's like making all these statements without any research or, you know, by just false assumptions. But I think these are very detailed oriented, and just based on just reading all of this, I feel like she's actually done her research, so it's really good. The second one was a little bit more like general, like overview of her day. In a nutshell, Jane Austen rose early before the other women were up and played the piano. She organized the family breakfast, her one major piece of household work. Then she settled down to write in the sitting room, often with her mother and sister sewing quietly nearby. If visitors showed up, she would hide her papers and join in the sewing. Dinner, the main meal of the day, was served between 3 and 4 p.m. Afterward, there was conversation, card games, and tea. The evening was spent reading aloud from novels. During the time, Jane Austen would read her work in progress to her family. So it seems like a very simple yet lavish yet fun routine to do. I think I'm gonna try to focus on this one, but also apply those details to my routine, like based on the other website. And if you haven't already, please make sure that you subscribe to this channel, because I make all these videos most of the times, and I have noticed that there are so many new people coming in, so do not forget to subscribe, guys. If you do not subscribe, I'm not gonna be making these videos, please. Good morning! So today's a day that I'm going to be trying Jane Austen's schedule. So normally Jane Austen would have breakfast around 9 a.m. and before that she usually tried practicing piano and went for walks and stuff like that, and also did some other errands. So for me, what I'm gonna do is, I don't have a piano, right? So I'm gonna try to practice my ukulele because it's been a while since I've touched it. So I thought maybe it's a good idea to kind of practice that first. We normally had breakfast at around 9 a.m. and so I'm just gonna wait it out and have breakfast then. The breakfast at the Jane Austen's household was very lavish, I think. I mean, not lavish, but there were a lot of options. It seems like they kind of went through the menu and, you know, made sure that the breakfast was prepared well. So I'm gonna try to have a good breakfast myself because I'm a big fan of breakfast. So why not, right? Okay, so let's do that. One, two, three, go. When the night has come and the light is dark and the moon is the only light we'll see. The sky that we look upon should tumble and fall. I won't cry, I won't cry, no I won't shed a tear, just as long as you stand by me. So darling, darling, stand by me, oh stand by me, oh stand. Okay, so Jane Austen would normally, she would check in with her cook, chefs, whatever. She would check in with the servants at her house who made breakfast. They didn't make the breakfast themselves. I'm my own servant. So I'm gonna make my own breakfast. I'm gonna try to, I don't know what I wanna have. Like I don't know. I have coffee for sure. I mean, I don't have tea. They usually had tea or hot chocolate or coffee. So I'm just gonna have coffee for myself and I'm gonna make probably a toast because that's what they normally eat, and yeah, we'll see. We'll just make some good breakfast now. And the sky that we look upon should tumble and fall. All the mountains should crumble to the sea. Okay guys, sorry about that southern singing. Anyways, I was just getting ready and wanted to sing because I had been hearing that same song the entire morning. Thanks. And this is my breakfast today. Don't mind me doing some house chores because I don't have any servants. Snack time! People who say that they hate salads, I just don't understand it. I think people who hate salads haven't had the right kind of salad. You know, if you have a good salad, I swear to God, you man, I love it. So wholesome and so good. I don't know how people do not like it. After lunch or everything, they also, like the Jane Austen family, use that time for socializing as well. So she would often go and visit some people would come and visit her. So socializing is not gonna happen for me, but I am like going to have a call with my friend that doesn't live here. She lives in a different city. So I guess, yeah, that could be counted as a part of socializing, right? She hit me up and she's like, are you free? Can I call you? And I was like, yeah, sure. It just fits my routine today, so. So post-afternoon routine was usually Jane Austen and her family getting ready for any dancing or balls at the Austen household. And if they didn't have anything like that, they would usually just get ready for having dinner at their table. So that's what I'm doing here. I did a little cardio and I took a shower, and I just was doing some skincare routine as well as some self-care routine, followed by my dinner. I did some reading towards the end, and that's pretty much how I wrapped up my evening for that day. Hello there, welcome back. I'm gonna talk about how my Jane Austen schedule went. Are we ready? Let's do it. Okay, I don't know where this accent is from, but I think it's British. At least that's what I'm trying to sound like. This is what I learned from the experience of Jane Austen. Thank you. That's all. Just kidding. I have to say that this one was by far the most relaxing and rejuvenating schedules of any other schedules that I've done so far. I really like that it started on such a good note with the musical start. I'm like, my ukulele was sitting right there being dusty, and I just didn't really do anything about it. But you know, when I picked it up after such a long time, I had a good time just, you know, practicing my song there again after such a long time. So I think that really gave the day a good start. And I think like just taking time to do everything, because you know that era was definitely a slower era of time, not rushing, or you know there was not a lot going on back in the day, so it was much calming, and that's how I wanted this schedule to go. So I try to make sure that, you know, I'm not doing as much as social media and, you know, not using my phone as much. So that really helped as well. You know, everything in this this Jane Austen schedule was very well thought out and very well planned out. It doesn't feel like you're doing a whole lot, because it feels very relaxing, and you know, it's like just slow and calming. But at the same time, you know, by when I looked at the end of the day, I felt like I had done so much. Like I had done my chores, I had done some writing, I had done some music practice, I did some reading. So there was like a lot of things going on the same day, but at the same time, it didn't feel like I was doing all of that. Like it just didn't feel like a very, you know, fast-paced, productive, like trying to hit the goals kind of schedule. You know what I mean? I just loved the whole vibe of that schedule, and just felt like a relaxing and very laid-back kind of routine. For writing, I think that it definitely did help me, you know, just think more freely. I wasn't like looking at the clock and just trying to, you know, hit certain page by certain time. It was more like just like me flowing in the moment and just like writing whatever I wanted to write. It just felt so good. I feel like Jane Austen's schedules could actually be someone's self-care day or something. I definitely feel like that. You're still doing so many things, but it feels really wholesome. Like if you want to have a relaxing day in, definitely try doing this. I feel like I should have went all in and kind of dressed the part as well. It would be so much fun to do that, but I feel like I want to try this routine again and like maybe just shake it up a little bit. Maybe just put on a dress. I don't know, just try to live like a woman in a Regency era or something and feel like a Jane Austen heroine. So that's gonna be the next thing for some another day. I really hope that you liked this video. If you did, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up. Come back for more because I definitely will be doing more of these routines. And if you want me to try any routine that you recommend, then please go ahead and let me know through the comment box below. Let's engage, let's have a conversation. So I'll see you again next time. I hope that I will get to see you again. Until then, have a good day, good night, good morning, wherever you're watching this from. Ciao. I just realized I don't know why I don't do this often.